Over the years, gender equity discussions have traditionally centered around women because women's challenges or the impacts of the patriarchy on women has been visible. However, we have failed to recognize the impacts that the patriarchal system has had on men's well-being because those impacts aren't visible to the naked eye, but those impacts are very real. And while the past 50 years have been revolutionary for women, the feminist movement championed their power and an entire academic discipline emerged to theorize about gender and excavate women's history. There hasn't been a corresponding conversation about the impacts of the patriarchal system on the man's role in society. And here's the thing, people need codes for how to be human, and when those aren't easily found, they'll take whatever is offered, no matter what else is attached. The lack of direction and clarity on what masculinity is attracting men to men like Jordan Peterson or Andrew Tate. As a result, there's a temptation to minimize men's problems or erase references to masculinity altogether. Let's think about it this way. Many women in today's dating world want an emotionally available man, which is fair. However, we have to keep in mind that the notion of being emotionally available entails that the person grew up in a home with parents who allowed the child to express their emotions without fear or judgment. And the truth is that even women who were given more space to express their emotions as girls struggle today to self-regulate their emotions properly. From an early age, boys are taught patriarchal ideals and how to function as men within society. Early caregiving environments reinforce expectations around masculinity, instilling beliefs that boys and men must embody strength and avoid any traits perceived as feminine, such as sensitivity, compassion, and kindness. Young boys who display these traits often face bullying or rejection from peers and disapproval from male role models. These experiences shape their internal sense of self and impact their external interactions, often leaving them longing for connection and belonging. This socialization encourages boys to avoid vulnerability and adopt competitive behaviors. Phrases like "big boys don't cry" illustrate how these norms suppress emotional expression, leading to stigma when men experience psychological distress. The message that becomes ingrained in boys is that expressing emotions makes you look weak. So what other choice do young boys have than to learn to suppress their emotions? Flash forward today in 2025, women say that they want a man who's emotionally available. We're now complaining that men aren't emotionally mature, and some of us believe that if a man loved us enough, that he would change himself to be with us. But that's not how that works, and that's not how it should work. Picture this. Women asking men to just be emotionally available is like asking a man to fly to the moon when he's never stepped in a shuttle before. There's no way that's going to make it to the moon because he doesn't have the years of skills and training to do so. Men have so much shame and fear deep-rooted inside of them that the last thing that will make a man want to work on himself in any capacity is hearing a woman criticizing them for not being emotionally available and making them feel like they're not good enough. As if they don't already feel this way on a daily basis. The truth is, it's not men's fault. It's society as a whole that's responsible for this. And the only way that we're going to be able to make things better for men is by doing it as low a society. Because if both men and women don't collaborate to help men, there will not be any change. To be a man in today's society has to be incredibly difficult. The suppression of emotions, the feelings of hopelessness, feeling like there's no one to turn to who will understand them. Let's create an environment, socially, culturally, and structurally, that normalizes vulnerability and makes it easier for men to access help.